The Galactic Council sat in a grand chamber, surrounded by shimmering lights and floating screens. Representatives from all corners of the galaxy gathered here to discuss important matters. Today, the focus was on one topic, the human Dreadnought. Many council members leaned back in their chairs, smirking as they prepared for what they thought would be a great laugh. "This so-called Dreadnought cannot even fly," said a tall, blue-skinned alien with large, bulging eyes. He waved his hand dismissively. "Humans are wasting our time and resources!" Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Another council member, a short green alien with multiple arms, chimed in. "Yes, we all know that the humans think they can compete with us. But their technology is old and weak. That ship is nothing but a floating hunk of junk." In the back of the chamber, a group of humans watched with clenched fists. Among them was engineer Sarah, a brilliant mind who had worked tirelessly on the Dreadnought for months. Her heart raced as she listened to the alien representatives mock her work. They didn't understand the countless hours and sacrifices the human team had made. They were determined to show everyone that they could achieve the impossible. As the laughter echoed around the room, Sarah exchanged worried glances with her fellow engineers. They had spent late nights making modifications to the Dreadnought, pushing the ship to its limits. Now, with the council preparing for a test flight, they felt the weight of the world on their shoulders. "Let's not forget," said the council leader, a towering figure with shimmering scales, "that this ship is just a relic from an old war. We must focus on the future, not on outdated machines." He paused for effect, his gaze sweeping across the council. "We have much more advanced technology to explore." As the aliens continued to laugh and discuss their impressive fleets, Sarah felt a fire igniting within her. The humans had always been underestimated, but they thrived on challenges. She whispered to her team, "We have to prove them wrong. We can't let them think we're weak." The engineers worked hard behind the scenes, making the final adjustments to the Dreadnought. They were nervous but excited, knowing that the test flight could change everything. Sarah's mind raced as she recalled all the modifications they had made. Stronger engines, better navigation systems, and new defensive shields. They believed the Dreadnought could surprise everyone if it just got the chance. As the day of the test flight approached, anticipation filled the air. The humans knew that this was their moment. If they succeeded, it would not only silence the council's laughter, but also change how everyone viewed humanity in the galaxy. The chamber grew quiet as the time for the demonstration drew near. Aliens filed into their seats, eager to see what they believed would be a disaster. They whispered and giggled, their eyes filled with amusement. "This will be fun to watch," one alien chuckled. "I can't wait to see it crash and burn." Sarah stood with her fellow engineers, determination etched on her face. "They think they know what we can do," she said, her voice steady, "but they have no idea what we're capable of. We'll show them." As the countdown began, she took a deep breath, knowing that the future of humanity rested on this moment. With one final look at her team, she said, "Let's make history." They all nodded, ready to prove that they were more than just a joke in the eyes of the Galactic Council. With that, the Dreadnought's engines rumbled to life, ready to ignite. The humans felt the ship shake beneath them, a powerful reminder of the work they had done. This was their chance to change the galaxy's perception of humanity forever. Little did the Council know, the show was just about to begin. The sun rose over the Galactic Council's chamber, shining through large windows and casting bright light on the assembled aliens. Excitement buzzed in the air as the council members took their seats. Today was the day of the Dreadnought's test flight, and everyone wanted to see if the humans would fail spectacularly or surprise them all. In the human area, engineer Sarah stood with her team, their faces a mix of determination and nerves. "This is it," she said, her voice strong despite her racing heart. "We've worked too hard to let this moment slip away. We need to show them what we can do." The atmosphere was tense as the countdown to the flight began. On one side, the council members whispered and joked, certain that they would witness a failure. "I can't wait to see that ship crash," one alien said with a sneer. "It will be a glorious sight." On the other side, the humans prepared themselves, adjusting controls and checking systems. The Dreadnought, painted in bold colors, stood proud on the launch pad. It seemed to vibrate with anticipation, as if it knew the importance of this moment. "5 minutes to launch," a voice announced through the loudspeakers. Sarah felt a knot in her stomach tighten. She glanced at her fellow engineers who were busy running last-minute checks. Each beep and flash on the control panels reminded her of the long hours they had put in. They had sacrificed sleep, time with family, and even their health for this day. As the countdown continued, a sudden alarm blared throughout the chamber. "Warning! System malfunction in Engine 2, shouted one of the technicians, panic rising in his voice. Sarah's heart sank. This was the moment they had feared the most, a critical failure before the flight even started. "Shut it down! We need to fix it now!" she commanded, her voice steady even as fear gripped her. The team sprang into action, racing against time to troubleshoot the issue. They quickly huddled around the control panel, eyes darting between screens filled with flashing red lights and error messages. "Can we reset it?" one engineer asked, her fingers flying over the controls. "We need to be ready. I'll try," Sarah replied, her hands shaking as she worked to reboot the system. Time ticked away, and the countdown reached the 2-minute mark. The council members watched with growing impatience, their laughter fading into silence as they sensed something was wrong. "Come on, come on!" Sarah whispered under her breath, her fingers dancing over the buttons. The pressure was immense. Every second felt like an hour. The Dreadnought needed to prove itself, and failure was not an option. With just 30 seconds left, the alarm finally silenced, and the screen showed green lights across the board. "We did it! The engine is back online!" Sarah shouted, relief flooding her body. The team cheered, their spirits lifted as they realized they still had a chance. 15 seconds to launch," the voice called out. The Dreadnought's engines began to roar, vibrating the ground beneath them. Sarah felt the thrill of adrenaline rush through her veins. This was the moment they had been waiting for. As the countdown hit 5 seconds, the council members leaned forward, their eyes wide with surprise. "Maybe this won't be such an easy failure after all," one alien muttered. 3, 2, 1, ignition! The engines fired with a deafening roar, and the Dreadnought shot into the sky like a comet. The humans erupted into cheers, their voices drowning out the astonished gasps from the council members. The ship climbed higher, cutting through the atmosphere with grace. Sarah's heart soared with pride. They had done it. The Dreadnought was flying, proving all the doubters wrong. As the ship glided through the clouds, the aliens stared in disbelief, their earlier laughter replaced by respect. "This is just the beginning," Sarah thought, a smile spreading across her face. They had taken the first step toward changing how the galaxy viewed humanity, and there was no turning back now. The Dreadnought soared high above the Galactic Council chamber, its engines roaring like a fierce beast. Below, council members looked up in disbelief, their faces a mix of shock and awe. They had expected to see a failure, but instead they were witnessing a human ship defy all their predictions. "Look at it go!" shouted one alien, his eyes wide. "I can't believe it's actually flying." In the cockpit, engineer Sarah felt a rush of excitement.
"We did it!"
"We actually did it!" she exclaimed, her voice barely above the roar of the engines. The Dreadnought was responding beautifully to the controls, gliding smoothly through the sky. She turned to her fellow engineers, who were all grinning with pride. They had worked hard for this moment, and now it was paying off. As the ship climbed higher, Sarah checked the readouts on her screen. Everything looked perfect. The navigation systems were working, and the engines were stable. The Dreadnought was not just flying, it was performing better than they had ever hoped. "Let's show them what else this ship can do," she said, her heart racing with determination. Outside, the aliens watched intently, their expressions shifting from skepticism to admiration. The Dreadnought began to execute a series of sharp turns and loops, showcasing its agility. The humans inside felt the G-forces pressing them against their seats, but it only fueled their excitement. "Now let's try the combat simulation," Sarah commanded. She hit a button, and the ship's systems began to prepare for a demonstration of its weaponry. The aliens had laughed at the idea of a human warship, but now they would see its true power. With a flick of her wrist, Sarah activated the ship's weapons. A series of lights flashed on the control panel, and a booming voice announced, "Weapons systems online." Sarah's heart raced even faster. They had never tested the weapons in flight before, and she hoped everything would work as planned. "Targeting system engaged," another engineer reported. "We're ready to fire," Set the target to the holographic drones, Sarah instructed, her voice steady. The crew nodded and they locked onto the targets. A moment later, the Dreadnought unleashed a barrage of energy blasts into the sky. The bright beams lit up the darkening clouds, and the drones exploded one by one in brilliant flashes. The council chamber erupted in cheers and applause as the aliens saw the Dreadnought's impressive firepower. "Incredible!" shouted one representative. "I had no idea humans could create something so powerful." Back in the cockpit, Sarah could hardly contain her excitement. "We're just getting started," she shouted, her voice full of energy. "Let's push this ship to its limits." The team cheered in agreement, and Sarah grinned, feeling a bond with her fellow engineers. The Dreadnought continued its display, performing advanced maneuvers and firing its weapons with precision. The ship felt alive, and Sarah could sense the pride radiating from her team. They had taken a ship that everyone believed was useless and turned it into a flying marvel. As the test flight continued, the council members began to realize they had misjudged humanity. The Dreadnought wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of human resilience and ingenuity. The laughter and mockery from earlier faded away, replaced by newfound respect. But Sarah knew that they couldn't let their guard down. The council had always been skeptical of humans, and she understood that today's success wouldn't guarantee future acceptance. They needed to prove themselves time and time again. As the Dreadnought began its final approach back to the launch pad, Sarah felt a wave of pride wash over her. They had shown the galaxy that humans could soar to great heights, both literally and metaphorically. "Prepare for landing," she called out, her hands steady on the controls. The team focused, ready to bring the ship back down safely. As the Dreadnought descended, the council members gathered at the edge of the launch pad, eager to witness the landing. With a smooth touch, the Dreadnought touched down, its engines rumbling softly as they powered down. The ship was finally still, but the excitement within the humans was far from over. They had made their mark today, and Sarah knew this was just the beginning of their journey to gain respect among the stars. As the doors of the Dreadnought opened, Sarah led her team out, ready to face the council. The thrill of victory filled her heart as she prepared to see the looks on their faces. Today, humanity had ignited a spark of change, and they were ready for whatever came next. The atmosphere in the Galactic Council chamber was electric. As the humans exited the Dreadnought, they were greeted with a mix of astonished gazes and murmurs of respect from the aliens gathered outside. Sarah stood at the forefront, her heart pounding with pride and excitement. They had not only flown the ship, they had dazzled everyone with its power. "Welcome back, humans!" one of the council members announced, trying to regain composure. "Your performance was unexpected. Please tell us more about this ship and its capabilities." Sarah smiled, feeling a wave of confidence wash over her. "Thank you. We are excited to share what we've created. The Dreadnought is equipped with advanced technology, including speed and weaponry that can outmatch many other ships in the galaxy." "Outmatch?" An alien scoffed, crossing his arms. "That's a bold claim. I'd like to see it in action again, perhaps against one of our ships." The challenge hung in the air, and Sarah could feel the tension rise. "I believe we can demonstrate its capabilities," she replied, her voice steady, "but we want to do it safely. We can set up a controlled environment to showcase its power." The council members exchanged glances, and after a moment of deliberation, they agreed. "Very well, but we will send one of our ships to engage with yours. Let's see if your Dreadnought can withstand the might of the Galactic Council." As preparations began for the demonstration, Sarah gathered her team. "This is our chance to show them what humanity can do," she said, her eyes shining with determination. "We need to be ready. Let's make sure every system is optimized for this challenge." The crew moved quickly, running checks on the Dreadnought systems. Sarah could feel the excitement building among her team. They knew this was a critical moment, one that could change how the galaxy viewed humanity. They were no longer the underdogs, they were warriors ready to defend their place among the stars. In the meantime, the council prepared their ship, a sleek vessel known for its speed and firepower. It glided smoothly into position opposite the Dreadnought, its metallic surface glinting in the light. The aliens watched from the sidelines, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Let the demonstration begin," one of the council leaders announced, raising a hand to signal the start. The two ships faced each other, engines humming softly. Sarah felt a rush of adrenaline as she took her place in the cockpit. "We've trained for this. We can do it," she whispered to herself. "Ready when you are," shouted one of her crew members. Sarah took a deep breath, focusing her mind. "Engaging thrusters," she said, her fingers dancing over the controls. The Dreadnought surged forward, cutting through the space between the two ships with impressive speed. The Council's vessel followed closely, eager to catch up. As they approached each other, Sarah activated the Dreadnought's weapon systems. "Prepare to fire," she instructed, her voice calm despite the pressure. The targeting system locked onto the Council's ship, and Sarah felt the power coursing through the Dreadnought. "Firing in 3, 2, 1, she called out, and the Dreadnought unleashed a torrent of energy blasts. The beams shot across the void, striking the Council ship with precision. Bright flashes erupted as the shots hit, and the Council members gasped in disbelief. The Council's ship retaliated quickly, firing back with its own weapons. But Sarah had anticipated this. "Evasive maneuvers," she shouted, guiding the Dreadnought sharply to the left. The crew felt the G-forces pushing them against their seats, but they held on, determined. The Dreadnought danced through the void, dodging the Council's attacks with grace. Sarah's heart raced as she expertly navigated the ship, feeling the thrill of the challenge. The Dreadnought was proving itself, and she could sense the shift in the Council members' attitudes. "Let's show them our special feature," Sarah exclaimed. She activated the ship's cloaking system, making the Dreadnought temporarily invisible. The Council members looked bewildered as their sensors lost track of the ship. "Where did it go?" one of them shouted in confusion. Sarah felt a rush of triumph. This was the moment they had been waiting for. The Dreadnought reappeared behind the Council ship, and Sarah grinned. "Now let's finish this," she declared, unleashing a final volley of energy blasts that struck the Council ship with full force. The impact sent shockwaves through space, leaving the aliens stunned. As the smoke cleared, the Council ship remained intact but visibly shaken. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Sarah and her team exchanged high fives, celebrating their victory. They had not only defended their honor, they had showcased humanity's strength in front of the entire galaxy. The Council members looked at each other, their previous doubts transformed into respect. They had witnessed a display of power that would not be easily forgotten. Today, humanity had taken its place among the stars, and Sarah knew this was just the beginning of a new era. The atmosphere in the Galactic Council chamber was charged with excitement. The recent display of the human Dreadnought's power had changed everything. Council members were no longer merely curious. They were now eager to learn more about the humans who had shocked the galaxy. Sarah stood among her team, still buzzing from their impressive victory. As the applause faded, one of the Council leaders stepped forward. "Today we witnessed a remarkable demonstration of strength and ingenuity," he declared. "The humans have shown us what they are capable of. It is time for us to rethink our relationship with Earth and its people." Sarah's heart swelled with pride as she listened. This was the moment they had worked for, the moment that could reshape humanity's future. The Council members had once viewed humans as weak, but now they were recognizing their potential. Another Council member chimed in, "We must invite you to become an official member of the Galactic Council. Your knowledge, skills, and creativity can benefit us all." The room filled with murmurs of agreement from the other representatives. Sarah exchanged amazed glances with her team. They had come so far in such a short time. "We accept your invitation," Sarah replied, unable to hide her excitement. "We are eager to work together and share our ideas. Humanity has so much to offer, and we are ready to contribute to the galaxy." With a smile, the Council leader continued, "We must also discuss the defense of the galaxy. There are threats that require a united front. Together, we can strengthen our forces." As the discussions began, Sarah felt a new sense of purpose. The humans were no longer alone. They were part of something bigger, a coalition of worlds standing together against challenges. Each Council member shared their knowledge, creating an atmosphere of collaboration. They discussed technology, military strategies, and cultural exchanges. Sarah's team, now working closely with their alien counterparts, contributed their ideas on ship design and advanced weaponry. They were amazed at how their concepts were received with enthusiasm. The Council members were fascinated by humanity's innovative spirit, eager to learn from them and exchange ideas. As the meeting progressed, Sarah found herself talking with a Council member named Thrak. He was a tall, blue-skinned alien with 6 arms and bright, intelligent eyes. "I never thought humans could create such impressive technology," Thrak admitted. "Your Dreadnought has changed my view of your species." "Thank you, Thrak," Sarah replied, feeling grateful for the compliment. "We've had to be resourceful, and our history of overcoming challenges has driven us to innovate." In that moment, Sarah realized that their victory was not just about the Dreadnought. It was about the connections they were building. They were forming friendships and partnerships that would last for years to come. As the council meeting drew to a close, the leader stood once more. "We will work together to ensure peace and progress in the galaxy. The humans have proven themselves as allies, and we welcome you into our fold." The room erupted in applause again, but this time, it felt even more meaningful. Sarah's heart raced as she looked around at her team, their faces beaming with pride. They had come so far from being underestimated to being accepted as equal partners. This was a new beginning, not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. After the meeting, the team gathered around Sarah. "What's next?" one of her engineers asked, excitement in their eyes. "We start planning our next steps," Sarah replied confidently. "We'll share our technologies, train together, and prepare to face whatever threats may come our way. Together, we will create a future where every species thrives." With newfound determination, the team set to work. They began drafting plans for joint training exercises, technology exchanges, and diplomatic missions. The Dreadnought would not only serve as a powerful warship, but also as a symbol of unity and cooperation among different worlds. As they worked late into the night, Sarah couldn't help but smile. She knew this was only the beginning. They were no longer just humans. They were part of a larger community, ready to explore the stars and tackle challenges together. And with that, the dawn of a new era began. The galaxy would no longer see humans as weak, but as formidable allies. Together, they would face the unknown, standing side by side, ready to defend their new home among the stars.